Saw from really good examples of both of my parents who worked really hard. Growing up, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, so I saw my dad get up every day and go to the office. And kind of in my later years, when my mom married my stepdad, I saw her find this passion of figuring out how to become his agent and manager and really figure it out when life wasn't so glamorous, and just really figure it out. And so seeing both of those great examples really put something inside of me that just gave me this passion to want to figure it out. And I worked for my dad in his office. I've worked in a clothing store since I was 15, and I had maybe not the most glamorous jobs of burning CDs and pressing CDs in his record company. But all of those experiences were so amazing, and I just learned so much every single day working alongside my dad. My mom was such a good example. I mean, she was a flight attendant in her 20s or late teens, and figuring out how to be a manager, an agent, a secretary, doing it all, and really hustling and just figuring out how to make this amazing speaker's business. At the time, it was Bruce, so Bruce would do motivational speaking, and my mom really figured out how to create this business. And as a kid, seeing them work and on the phones and running around and everything was in home, you really got a sense of how hard it is, and it just really motivated me. I found power in saying yes to so many things, and I would work on so many projects, whether it's from tanning to a shoe company to cupcakes, fitness videos. I mean, I did everything, and I thought that was really powerful in trying everything that I could to figure out what I liked. I learned so much along the way, but now, since I've taken 10 years to do all of that and do anything and everything, I could sit back. And I think I was kind of this year or last year forced into a situation that made me really want to stop, being in the public eye and stop being on social media. And I took that time off and that experience to figure out, what do I want to do? I've worked for 10 years in these licensing deals, and I mean, if I break it all down, I mean, the percentage that you would get from a licensing deal, and then splitting everything with my two sisters, so that's 3 ways. And then I thought, we work so hard to be getting so little, and it might seem all great and there's all these false information out there and numbers, and I really wanted to create a business on my own, and I know that was going to take a lot of hard work. And these are all projects that I'm doing full ownership, every last detail, from the box to the packaging to the being in the factories and feeling every, packaging detail. I'm 100% involved in, and that's so prideful for me. I feel really proud to have tried everything and then really focused in on the projects that I know I can really put 100% of my time into. I think it was 1989, my best friend and I were watching The Real World, and I joked to her, that's it. When we're older, when we're big, that's what I want to do for my job. I want to be on a reality show. And that was like the first reality show. And so cut to, our producers produced that show, so I feel like it all came full circle. I was kind of joking at the time. But when we got the actual opportunity to do the reality show, I thought it would be great to promote our store. We have a clothing store called Dash, and I thought it would be great to just promote the store. And so that's kind of why we got into it, not knowing that, we're starting to film season 14, and we literally didn't think anyone would probably be interested after season 1 or 2. We were, so it's such a fun surprise, and it's the main project that I get to work and see my family every single day. I think the one thing that I'm really proud of is when we first started the show, my mom said to all of us, okay, if we're gonna do this, we should all give it 100%. Let's show everything. Let's be as honest and open as we possibly can. And we have the power to edit out things. And so I think just knowing that, we gave everything, thinking like, okay, well, we just won't show that. And then by the time they edited it and it aired, or was going to air, and we watched it, that story had been in the tabloids, but completely twisted. So we're like, no, we want to show our story. Let's show this. So there actually really hasn't been anything that we've removed from the show. And I think that's what keeps it so real is, or you'll hear stories in the tabloids, but then you kind of tune in to want to know what really did happen or what's our side of the story. I know a lot of people sometimes don't understand reality TV or want to hate on it, and we're not actors, so it's, it shouldn't be respected type of mentality. I see that a lot, and I'm really proud to be on a reality show, and I love to, at the end of the day, I feel like it's the new, like how a lot of people don't understand social media and they can't quite grasp it, or, my mom tries really hard, she's really good at it, but for a while she's like, couldn't really figure it out. And I think that's how reality TV kind of is looked at. And so I'm so proud to be on a show. I get to work with my family every single day. It brings us so much closer together. And it really has helped us, honestly, get through so many crazy things that's gone on in our lives. And we get to, you definitely have to have a thick skin once you see the episode air, and it might bring up a fight or drama that you've already gotten over. You have to relive that again. But I think it's very entertaining, just reality TV in general. I'm a fan of it, and I'm proud to be on our show. I think that being authentic and sharing your world with people is definitely really exciting, especially if you have a brand. I think it's the most amazing tool that's been invented to help brands and to help get your brand out there. With everything, I think you have to set boundaries. I know that hopefully, when my kids grow up, they're a little too young for social media now, but I will set boundaries, and I think it's different for every parent in every household. But just like, when I was growing up, we had to turn our TV off at a certain hour, or, I think there should be boundaries so you don't get too wrapped up in it. But I do believe that it's such a powerful tool. It's so important when you're building your brand. And I think each platform really is different for different purposes. The most important thing is being authentic and listening. I think that doing anything and everything, and I'm guilty of that before, people probably won't believe you. And you probably don't even really grasp now, if I'm going to promote something, I have to use it, I have to like it, I have to be active with it. I want to know the partners, I want to know who owns the company, I want to know so much about it, and I love to be loyal to that company and just do what's authentic to me. But I tried so many things in the past, and I think through all of that experience, you just learn what you like and what you love. But I think the key on social media is just being authentic. Being an owner is very important to me, and now I feel like I've put the time in, and I've been fortunate, and I've saved my money, which is, I think hard to do when so many things are thrown at you, and I've taken that and I've reinvested that into the new businesses that I'm starting on my own. And so there's not a whole lot of room. It really has to catch my attention if it's going to be a new project that I'm going to work on, and I have to have major ownership, major input. There's nothing, that I would do now if I didn't have creative control and if I wasn't in charge. I was at a fragrance shoot the other day, and the photographer is a friend of mine, and I had always dreamed of working with him. And I was saying to him, usually the boss comes up and looks at the screen and all of the photos, and they have to approve them, and do they like this look? And if they don't, we have to go reshoot it. And we looked at each other, and he's like, "You're the boss, do you like this?" And it was such a proud moment, just knowing that I put that all together. I was making all the calls to get the whole team together and hired a creative director, and It was such a proud moment, just knowing like, wow, I used to work for these people and I would show up and do whatever they said and wanted, and now I was in control and I'm the one making the shots and saying exactly what I want the picture to look like, and it's my vision. And that, you know, there's those moments when you just sit back and look at the photos, and I'll call my sisters and be like, I can't believe like this is happening. I did it like on my own. I feel like I really took the time off to figure out what I wanted, who I wanted to be, and so proud that I'm in this position now. If you go in one of my rooms in my house, I have these big whiteboards up, and it's these grids of all my projects, what I'm doing, the dates everything comes out, all the launches, just so that I can try to spread it all out. I do think that some of my brands, like Kimoji, is kind of more of a different side of my personality, and not even, you know, some aspects that aren't even like my personality, and so that I feel has its own area. And my beauty world, I feel like, is one area. So I think I'm doing a good job at separating it all and showing different facets of my personality. If anyone said they did it on their own, they would be lying. I have a great team. I have, you know, I definitely work 24/7, but I used to do appearances all over the place, and I don't really do that anymore. So I love to stay home and focus on everything. And so much of my kids' line I've learned just from making clothes for our own kids. So that just seems natural. So that whole line has been planned out like a year in advance of everything that's going to be coming out. And I think planning, preparing, and having a really good team behind you is key. I do take time for myself, and I think that's very important. And when you do take time for yourself, that's when like the magic happens and these ideas come. And I think no matter who you are, what you do, if you don't take time for yourself, you can never rejuvenate and you can never get back that creative spark. So I do take time off, and I do get a lot of ideas from my travels and just being around people that give me ideas and inspire me. So I think that is really important. I do feel like success is the best revenge. To say that I'm not human, for people to always say crazy mean things, I mean, it definitely does get to me, but I think that with the support of my family, we've always kind of come through on the other side. But to write that, I remember I was thinking, you don't want to be boastful and say, I'm on the cover of Forbes, this is, you know, so amazing, which you do want to say, but of course people will say something negative about that. So I thought it was funny, just the little hashtag for people that might question how I got here or what talent I have. I was like, I'm on the cover of Forbes, so I must be doing something right.